Hey, what's good everyone? What's good? Another day, another video. In this one, we're gonna talk about the Chauvin case again a little bit here. My second video on this one. And we're gonna talk about the verdict. So he was charged and he was convicted of manslaughter, second-degree murder, and third-degree murder. So we're going to look at the definitions of those charges and talk about it a little bit, because I am a little bit surprised how people like Peter Schiff, like I said in my last video, are angry about this. So yeah, let's get into it. So let me record my screen and show you what we're working with here in terms of these definitions. Okay, so first, and this is just the free dictionary, as you can see. If you have better sources, you can go ahead and look at those. But let's talk about manslaughter here. So what's manslaughter? The killing of a person without malice aforethought, but with either the intention to commit an unlawful act that leads to an unintended death, or with an otherwise murderous intent that is extenuated by some partial defense, such as acting under the influence of an extreme emotional disturbance occasioned by a substantial provocation on the part of the victim. So, to me, this is pretty obvious. You just need to look at this first line here, or line and a half. The killing of a person without malice aforethought, but with either the intention to commit an unlawful act that leads to an unintended death. So Floyd was killed without malice, and you can argue, did Chauvin have malice? Did he not? And I don't really want to get into the mind of the man, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say that it wasn't necessarily malice, just so we can keep that out, because it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Well, it does matter, but for manslaughter, you don't have to have malice. So let's just say he didn't have malice. But he still killed the guy. But with either the intention to commit an unlawful act that leads to an unintended death. So the unlawful act that he committed was his use of force when arresting George Floyd. So having him in that position, and Chauvin being in the position with the force that he applied, is an unlawful act. And did he intend to commit an unlawful act? Well, he did it for, over 9 minutes. So maybe after the first few minutes, you could argue there wasn't intent, and that's just how it ended up happening. Maybe even up to 5 minutes, you could say, oh, it was happening fast and he was scared for his own safety. But when you're getting to 7 minutes and Floyd isn't speaking, and you're getting to 9 minutes, then it's hard to say that there wasn't an intention to commit that act. So, intention to commit an unlawful act, check mark there, and leads to an unintended death. So George Floyd isn't here with us anymore. So check mark. unintended death. And then there you go. They give another couple lines here that further fleshes out the definition of manslaughter. But with that line and a quarter there, you pretty much get your questions answered there. So that's manslaughter. Let's look at second-degree murder. And I couldn't find third-degree murder on this, so I can't speak on that one as much, but second-degree murder's here. So, second-degree murder. A non-premeditated killing resulting from an assault in which death of the victim was a distinct possibility. Second-degree murder is different from first-degree murder, which is a premeditated, intentional killing, or results from a vicious crime, such as arson, rape, or armed robbery. Exact distinctions on degree vary by state. So let's go over this one. A non-premeditated killing. So, was George Floyd killed? He's not here with us, so the answer is yes, he was killed. Was it premeditated? You could argue if it was or not, but in terms of this definition, let's just say it's not. Let's just say it wasn't. And I don't want to get into the mind of the man, like I said on the last definition, so I'm just going to say it was not premeditated. But second-degree murder, that fulfills the definition. So a non-premeditated killing resulting from an assault in which the death of a victim was a distinct possibility. So, resulting from an assault. As we said in the last definition, the unlawful act of the use of force that was applied in arresting George Floyd was an assault. And you can argue on the definition of assault, but like I was saying, after 3 minutes, you can make your arguments would make more sense. After 5 minutes, they start to make a little bit less sense, but you could still say, oh, he feared for his safety, etc., etc. At 7 minutes, it's hard to qualify that as something other than Floyd being assaulted and killed, like in the process of being killed. And at 9 minutes, you might be making your argument to a wall. But let's just keep going. Resulting from an assault in which death of the victim was a distinct possibility. So, when you have your knee on someone's back and neck area for that span of time, death of the victim being a distinct possibility. I know personally I wouldn't want to be like for anything heavy to be on my back and neck area for that span of time. Even if I'm lifting weights on my own accord, that'd be an awkward position to be in. and especially with something that's very heavy. So death of the victim, a distinct possibility. After he stopped speaking, it's hard to argue that death wasn't a distinct possibility. Like I said, 3 minutes in, maybe not 5 minutes in, and you're getting there, but maybe not 7 minutes in. It's hard to keep making the argument that death was not a distinct possibility. And there you go, that's the first sentence. Second degree murder is different from first degree murder, which is premeditated. Okay, we get that. He wasn't charged on first degree murder. Second degree murder was the highest charge, and then manslaughter, and then third degree murder. But there you go, there's a definition. I don't know a definition of third degree murder. I'm trying to look for it, but they don't give a definition of third degree. But obviously third degree is less than second degree, so if he fulfills a definition for second degree, you can be pretty sure that third degree being a lesser charge, he fulfills the definition for that too. So yeah, we'll end the recording here. You know, it's difficult to see how people aren't in agreement with that. But yeah, obviously you can see my bias here just by the way I'm speaking about it. But you know, you can make up your mind. The jury already made up their mind, so I guess it is what it is. And like I said in previous videos, we're going to be seeing more of these incidents. Like we already got another 3 after George Floyd. There's a new one today. To me, these are distractions. And we should be asking what they're doing with our currency. But that's it for this video. If you like it, like, comment, and subscribe. Gonna be more interesting content coming up here, so like, comment, and subscribe. But alright. And if you hated my take on this and you think I'm biased, then comment it, because I'm not saying I'm not biased, but I'm just looking at the definitions here, and yeah, it is what it is. Alright, peace out, stay healthy.